Welcome back to Crypto Atlas. It's been a few days since I did my last video, and we have some major whale moves that have taken place. And I'm going to go ahead and dive straight into this. Just keep in mind this will be a quicker video than normal. So first up is a whale alert. This is from January 22nd, just yesterday, and it's for 2,993 Bitcoin. That's worth over $250 million, 265, almost $266 million. Now is transferred from Coinbase Institutional to an unknown new wallet. Then we have $300 million worth of USDC that was transferred from an unknown wallet to an unknown wallet. We've been seeing a lot of major movement taking place with specifically USDC, and I find that to be really interesting. USDT is also really popular, but USDC has been the one that's been on the major move. So here's another example, $400 million worth of USDC transferred from an unknown wallet to Binance. And keep in mind that if this is transferred to an exchange, it would largely suggest either it's something internal that's going on with the actual exchange itself, or that there's some major players that are looking to try and do some buys sometime soon. So large money like that, definitely wanting to keep an eye on it. $300 million of USDC transferred from an unknown wallet to an unknown wallet. That was actually 2 days ago, January 21st. So you guys have been seeing this on a repeated daily basis as of recent. $250 million of USDC minted at USDC Treasury. That was back on January 21st. And then here we go, another $250 million worth of USDC minted at the USDC Treasury, and that was also on the 21st. So essentially, $250 million. There's another $250 million, so $500 million, $500 million on January 21st. Then you've got $300 million worth transferred from an unknown wallet to an unknown wallet. $400 million transferred to Binance. We've got $300 million that's transferred an unknown wallet to unknown wallet, and that huge amount of Bitcoin transferred from Coinbase Institutional to unknown new wallet. And real quick, just if you guys haven't heard about this, there's a crypto exchange called BTCC. You're welcome to pause the video here if you want to look at some of the basics behind this. I do have a referral link. You can find that down in the description below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and continue on with the news. So next up is from Quentin, who says that nobody uses Bitcoin. That's a quote that other people like to use. And here you can see in the graphic that it goes very much the opposite direction, right? So you got MasterCard with $9.7 trillion for 2025, whereas Visa is $16 trillion, but then Bitcoin totally eclipses both of them at $25 trillion, essentially combining MasterCard and Visa together. So Bitcoin, definitely a big, big player. Then we've got trending Bitcoin. They say this chart predicts Bitcoin will dump to $40,000. Are you ready for what's coming? I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Bitcoin is going to drop? And do you think that it's going to drop so substantially it'll go down to $40,000? And also, what's really interesting is that they're showing it dropping down possibly to $40,000 and then climbing up and hitting a new all-time high at its peak over $220,000, probably around $230,000, $250,000 there by the year 2030. So do you guys think that $250,000 for one Bitcoin is possible by 2030? Let us know in the comments down below. And then we have Bank XRP, and they're talking about obviously XRP here. Or actually, more specifically, I should say they're talking about RLUSD. Still the same company, Ripple, but a little bit just off topic. Excuse me. So BNY CEO Rob Vince at Davos. We're bullish on digital assets. America's oldest bank, 2 trillion AUM, is all in on crypto, and Ripple is a longtime BNY partner, primary custodian for RLUSD reserves and tokenization collaboration. TradFi embracing blockchain big time. And then Emily goes on to say for breaking news with Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, who was at WEF, I firmly believe this is the moment to use crypto and blockchain technology. And then we move on. We've got Maxi. Few charts tell us story this clearly. This one opposing what we were seeing in regards to Bitcoin. This one is very bullish for XRP. And it shows you that if it does follow the exact same pattern as what happened in 2017, which, let's be real, this is reminiscent of it. It's not exactly, but it definitely looks very, very much like it. That would mean that we could end up potentially seeing XRP going all the way up to $160, $170. I think that that's being a bit too optimistic, but if it did something like that, I am not going to complain. Up next, stuff is crypto. This looks dangerous for XRP. And the reason why they're saying this is they're leaning more bearish. As you guys can see here in 2018, once they reached that peak on this line, it started to pull back. That's on the 50-week moving average. Started to pull back, ended up dropping 85, almost 86%. In 2022, it dropped nearly 69%. And then here we see it pulling down. So if this does mirror what happened in 2018, 2022, then we could be looking at a range potentially around, I would say, 45 to 85%. And however you look at that, that's a substantial amount. Actually, it shows here too. 2015 dropped 75%. So let me know what you guys think on that. And then last one here, chart nerd, XRP as is at a pivotal moment. Multi-year ascending triangle, check. ABC correction over greater than resistance, that it's also check. And 20-month EMA retest. They say hold here, the sky becomes the limit. Lose the mark, we adjust our analysis. Simples, I refuse to be bearish while support holds. So I want to hear what you guys think. And lastly, just taking a quick look at Bitcoin's price chart. We're now on a green candle, barely. We did actually have a point where we were in the red. It dropped all the way down to around $88,400. But since then, it's pulled back up a little bit. And you guys can see there's a major drop off that took place on January 20th. There were 6 days in a row of red candles. And that volume also is pretty big back on January 20th. However, we did see a mass amount of volume back on January 14th. And so far, volume is looking pretty decent for the day, but still fairly low. I think people are starting to get prepared for the weekend. We'll see how things play out. If this goes up, we're looking at resistance on the Fibonacci retracement around $96,500. And the next major level support zone would be around $78,200. That's what I got for you in this video. You can check me out over on Blue Sky at Crypto Atlas. And my video turned out being the same length as what I would normally do. So yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new. And thank you to my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members. God bless, and we'll see you in the next episode.